Hi, my name is Stephanie Postma. I teach history at Wheaton High School in Montgomery, Maryland. I'm going to teach you a strategy that I actually use with my 9th grade honors U.S. history class. It's all about building content vocabulary by using what is known as the Four Corners vocabulary chart. Now, they also have another term. They're called Frayer models, and this is something that our U.S. History PLC, our professional learning community, uses weekly. So without any further ado, let's get started. Right? So our purpose of using the Frayer models is actually at our school we have a high transient population, and so we really are trying to bridge this gap of what our students know, what they do not know. And especially within my 9th grade class, I have a lot of students who are RELs and who are ESOL level 5. So that means that they are within the stage of connecting academic language and content languages from multiple classes, and sometimes that information clashes because the words have multiple meanings. What the Four Corners vocabulary chart does is it helps provide students more context to many of the words that they see throughout the unit, and also helps increase how those words are related to U.S. history and also increase their understanding of U.S. history. So the activity, it's pretty simple. You give your students vocabulary words along with the card. And what the students do is that they create a sentence, a picture, right? They have the definition, and it's all about applying the definitions in the right context. So you don't need a ton of materials to do this. You do need to have a vocabulary list. Right? Now, as a U.S. History PLC, we have weekly vocabulary words. And then we also give them the definitions because we do use this as a homework assignment. And we find that this really does help our students identify words within our unit by applying the correct definition, because a lot of our words do have multiple meanings. And then, of course, our vocabulary card. Right? So what you will have students do is the first step is to record the term in the box right there. Then record the definition. Then have students create a sentence that uses the word in context. Right. Step 4, you're going to create a picture that helps you remember the term. Now, one of the cool things that our U.S. History PLC does is we actually let students use Chromebooks in class, so they have the opportunity to look up pictures and add in it. And if they're not artistic, it does not penalize them for drawing something wrong. And it really does help them remember the terms that they put into their vocabulary card. So here's just a few student examples from past units. So the outcome, the goal of this activity is to really help students be able to apply their content vocabulary, really to help them better their understanding of the topics they are learning about in U.S. history, and just applying their own knowledge to think a little bit more critically about the words and the usage of words. So the relevance to my English language learners, the first thing that I've noticed is that a lot of my students apply their social life and their customs to their sentences for their vocabulary words. So I get kind of this inside look at my students in terms of likes, values, and personal beliefs. But they also have a much wider impact. What I've seen happening is as the school year progresses, the students are developing they are they have a chance to develop some more complex social structures. Sentence structures. So we start off maybe with like a short sentence, and then as the year goes on, they apply more of their content knowledge, and they apply more of the more meat, so to speak, to their sentences. All right. And since this is a weekly homework assignment for our PLC, I can also use this as an informal check-in. I can see where my students are struggling, and I can modify my lessons to fit in examples of the term. So for instance, if I see that students are struggling with their understanding of the word corroboration, which means to support, I can create a lesson in which students have to find how the documents support or corroborate one another. And so that way they get a hands-on feel for how you could see that term and how you can use it. Now you can also modify this lesson for lower level ESOL students. I've done this in the past where you have students translate the words, the definitions into their native languages. I would have students use Google Translate, or their native, if you do not have access to the internet, you could have them use their native English to native language dictionary. And then they can also create a sentence within their native language as well. This is just to have them have multiple means of accessing words and content vocabulary. In order to make sure that you can check their work, that picture is really essential, and it really helps extend, right, not only your knowledge of your student, but also their own knowledge, because they're able to apply it and then kind of run with it. So I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I find this strategy extremely helpful for all my students, and it really does help grow their understanding of vocabulary and their understanding of history. So thank you again for watching. I hope you guys all have a wonderful evening,